Hello everyone. Wednesday, August 17th, 2016, new comic book day. And unfortunately, I didn't do a video last week. I got busy doing some things, and so I am going to give you both of my weekly hauls from last week and this week on today's video. A big 2-for-1 special for you. So we will jump right into it right away. First book I picked up last week, the Black Monday Murders from Image. Haven't had a chance to read that yet, but it looks pretty good. Flintstones #2. One of the few Marvel titles I'm still buying, Spider-Man vs. Deadpool. This is #8. And a 7th printing Spider-Man Deadpool #1. Deadpool Merc for Money #2. I was able to find another Harley Quinn #30. Difficult to find this book in good condition. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I like my books as clean as possible, and this being an all-black cover mostly, real hard to find without little nicks and dings, so I was able to find one that I liked, so I grabbed it when I could. Rebirth, Batman Detective Comics, $9.38. Nice $2.99 price tag. I like the way they're keeping it there. Last week, Red Hood and the Outlaws #1. Cover #1. Red Hood and the Outlaws #2. Or #1. Cover #2. Excuse me. Wonder Woman #4. Still hanging strong at $2.99 a piece. And of course, the big one last week, a $4.99 book, which was All-Star Batman #1. Of course, you know DC was going to jack it up on the Batman. They've been kind of consistent with the $2.99 books. I don't know if this is going to go down to $3.99 or even $2.99, but this was cover #1, cover #2, the all red cover, and cover #3 they had on it, which has Two-Face on it with them. Again, this was a $4.99 book. I'll give DC some leeway on that one. It is a Batman. That is their big money maker. Is Batman, so you expected them to kind of do that and get some extra money, even though I don't think they need to. I'm not going to get mad at them because they've been real consistent with all the $2.99 books, so I'm going to give them a pass on that. Today's books I picked up, so we'll go to that. Brand new from Dark Horse, Briggs Land. Haven't had a chance to read it, but a person at the shop was like, hey, you know what, that's a pretty good story, and I trust their opinion. I picked up a Deathstroke #1. A book that was flying off the shelves. I was lucky to get a couple of these. $2.99 from Image. Spawn Kills Everyone. There's one cover. Here's a different cover. It looked like they had a few covers, but these are the only last two covers they had left, so I was happy to get those. Kind of a cool looking book here. McFarlane on this. This is the McFarlane cover right here. Harley Quinn #2. Harley Quinn #2, different cover there. I picked up another Suicide Squad #1. And this was a great Suicide Squad cover here. This was flying off the shelves as well. Suicide Squad #1. Really cool too, because $2.99 cover, you think they would jack that up a little bit. They kept that at $2.99, so I was pretty happy with that. I picked up 2 covers of that. Harley Quinn sells real good for me at my shop. A book I'm still enjoying, I don't know if you've jumped on this or not, but I'm enjoying it. Scooby Apocalypse. This is #4. Batman Rebirth #5. Batgirl Birds of Prey #1. And Birds of Prey #1, different cover. So that's what I picked up. As you can see, again, just like last week, minimal Marvel books, because it just isn't doing it for me. Look, I enjoy the Moon Knight storyline. Someone, when I ask you guys to send me some things, I appreciate it. Moon Knight storyline. And I just, for some reason, Marvel just ain't doing it for me. And I was a Marvel guy when I was, younger. But you know what? If the stories are no good, people aren't going to spend their money. The DC storylines are real good right now with the Rebirth, so people are spending their money. That is the hottest sellers in all the bookstores. Go to any comic book shop, with the exception of a couple Marvel titles, like I stated, Batman or Spider-Man versus Deadpool, the Moon Knight. There you have the Spider-Gwen collection, people. The Civil War storyline is still selling pretty good. I think last month, of the top 20 books sold, Marvel had 2 on there, and they were both Civil War titles. So, 2 of the 20 spots in the top 20 for the month of sales really isn't good for your company. And I think what they're kind of doing is basically saying, look, you can have the summer, DC. You can win the summer, and we're going to go for the second half, the end of the year run with our new releases, and hopefully that works out. But if DC continues to come out with the strong storylines they are with Rebirth, Marvel's going to have a hard time picking it up. You have the hardcore Marvel people, I understand that. But if the storyline is no good, ultimately they're going to go to other storylines. And the independents are real strong right now. The independent books, Image, Dark Horse is coming out with some pretty good titles. You still have, Walking Dead, which is still real strong. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm going to be here all year. So we'll see if Marvel picks it up a little bit. I would like them to, because the better the books, the more excitement there is in the collection and the hobby. Bad books, people lose interest. They go to other things. They go to other storylines. Like I said, vintage Marvel and older back issue Marvel always sells real well. New Marvel's having a hard time selling. Go to a lot of comic book shops, like I said, with the exception of a couple of titles. Plenty of Marvel books on the shelves. The DC stuff is running out pretty good. So I'm in the shop today, and a customer comes in, and he says, hey, I came from back east. I'm here in Vegas, having a little fun. And I told my wife, I'm going to stop and see your shop. I love your videos. Gentleman's name is Charles Santiago. Charles Santino. Charles Santino. And if you don't know who that is, or if the name sounds familiar to some of you, he was a writer on Conan in the late 80s. And he came in and gave me a couple of nice books. So thank you very much, Charles, for that. Really nice. Came in. We talked for about an hour and 20 minutes. He picked up a couple of books. Wanted to see the shop because I've been talking about it on the videos. Arkham Comics and Collectibles in Las Vegas. There's a cheesy plug for my business. And he said what pretty much everybody else says. You're right about your grading. You grade very, very hard. There's a lot of books that you have graded that people would grade much higher than what you are. But it all boils down to, when I'm doing books, is you have to be honest with your collection. Be honest with your collection. Don't assume you're just going to make money and look at a book that in your heart is a fine plus or a fine, very fine, and sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to give this an 8.5 because I want to make more money on it, and who cares? You should care. Your integrity should mean something to you when you sell books. We also had a real nice conversation as it relates to graded books. I showed him a couple of examples I have in my shop of books that I would grade at a certain grade, and the grading companies are just jacking them up. And again, grading, if you don't believe me, go back to look at some of my videos and look at some of these grades that some of these grading companies are giving these books. It's a scam. They're making money right now. I think CBCS is the one legitimate company right now that is honest with their books. And I still stand by PGX because I think their grading is kind of strong. CGC is kind of, money hungry right now, and they're giving bad grades. Again, any company that grades books based off, grades a value of a book based on how much the book is valued at, they're going to try to make some money off of that. They're going to try and scam you out of it and do the things that you can do. And then I had another viewer ask me a question regarding prints, first print, second print, third print. Companies now, unlike in years past, companies print books based off of the amount of orders that come in from the dealers across the country. So if you have one book that has 3,000 orders, or 3,000 orders, I'll print 3,000 books, maybe a little bit more to have a little bit extra in stock. But once those sell out, perfect example, Spider-Man, Deadpool, original Ninja Turtle runs from the IDW runs, sold out very quickly. So what do? They add on additional print runs to sell the books. All these print runs sell out. Some print runs are harder to find than others. It's funny that some people always look at, I just want a first print book. But some of these books you're looking at, you know, the third print, the fourth print can be worth more because there's so much more limited books. They come out with a different cover and it looks really nice. So, you know, based off of, you know, how many books are in demand for a certain title run will dictate how many print runs. As you see, the Batman or the Spider-Man Deadpool is up to a 7th print. And they're still selling strong. I went through my shop today and there was, you know, they had that print run, that number 7, but there was nothing else on the shelf. No 5s, no 6s, no 4s. So the book is still selling strong. So I don't really have a rant today because there's nothing really to rant about. I am going to do a video tomorrow as it relates to my shop. I'm going to take a video of my shop and I'm going to put it up and show everybody what it looks like. Very small indoor swap meet space with really nice books. So I will put that up tomorrow when I'm at the swap meet. I'll put a video up of my shop and you get a chance to see it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, books for the last 2 weeks. And as always, if you didn't like it, nothing I can do for you. Have a great night.